Hello guys, I wanted to make this video today to explain you what ballistic stretching is because I've received a lot of questions on how do I go about my flexibility practice. And it's true that we don't tend to talk so much about, we don't really have many teachers who teach us what flexibility is and how to improve it. So I have another video talking about the different types of stretches, but today I wanted to focus on ballistic stretching. So what it is, it's basically using momentum to overcome your passive range of motion. And if you look on the internet, you'll find a lot of controversies when it comes to ballistic stretching. Some people who would basically tear it apart and just say that it's dangerous. But I think, like a lot of things in life, it's not so much that they are dangerous exercises, it's that they are exercises done dangerously. And if you're very mindful, ballistic stretching can be an amazing tool to implement and to incorporate into your flexibility practice. It is by far the one that has helped me the most and has helped me made the biggest gains over the shortest amount of time. So basically, there are two types of ballistic stretching. There is the pulsing, which I practice a lot, and I'm going to talk about it today. And then there is another one, which is called fire and forget. This one, you can imagine, it's basically, take an example. If I was to put like my hand up high, and I was asking you to kick as high as you can with your foot, that would be a fire and forget, where you just do it once and then you just do something else. I don't practice those ones often. I actually don't practice it at all, I mean. I don't practice the fire and forget. I practice essentially the pulsing. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So many things to take into account when it comes to ballistic stretching is that you want your body, first of all, to be warm. This is for overall stretching. You never want to stretch on a cold body. So you always want to be warm. You want to make sure that you're also trained and that you have a strong body and strong muscles. Again, this is not, I always talk about this in flexibility. Most of the people, what they lack is actually strength. And some people who come to me and they tell me they want to get flexible, I first check how their strength is, and most often than not, this is the first thing they need to work on, because if you don't have the strength, there's no muscle, and if there is no muscle, there is nothing to stretch, as simple as that. So being strong and having the muscles to support your stretching is really important. Why am I saying also you need to be trained? Is because if done mindlessly, ballistic stretching can indeed be very dangerous. If done correctly and consciously, it can be an amazing tool. The next thing you want to focus is activating, especially the shortening side, so the antagonist muscle. So I'm going to give you an example here. If you're into your pancake, well, that was already a good crack. So I'm into my straddle here, and I'm going to go to my pancake. So if I'm going forward here, basically, you're stretching your hamstrings, right? In any stretch, when we do in ballistic, when I talk about the shortening muscle that you want to activate it, or the antagonist muscle, here the antagonist muscle from the hamstring would be your quads. So you want to make sure that you shorten this, so you squeeze them in. Sometimes you hear it in my Tone and Strong program, I talk about sucking the quads in. So this action, right? As if you wanted, you can try it yourself, to lift your heels from the ground. So when you go down, you want to make sure that this is engaged and contracted, so you pull them in towards your hip bones. So in any ballistic stretching, again, whether that's forward fold, whether that's pancake, always think of what is the muscle that I'm stretching and what is the antagonist. And the antagonist muscle is the one you're shortening and you're engaging. So the activation is really important here. Then you also want to make sure that it is safe. So what I was talking about, doing it consciously. So in order to do it consciously, you first need to activate, and then you want to not go at your full speed, of course. So when I was talking about pulsing, I use it often like here. And in my Tone and Strong program, if you're into it, you have done it too. Or for example, I ask you to go forward, and here instead of just relaxing down, that would be a passive stretch, you're going to use ballistic stretching. So you bring your arms forward and you're going to pulse. You keep breathing. So I'm shortening my quad muscles here, engaging them, flexing into my feet. That helps actually to engage and to shorten the quads. And you're pulsing. You see, I'm not doing my full speed. I'm not really rushing into it. I'm still doing it slowly and controlled. And the beauty of ballistic stretching here is that even if you go half a centimeter past what you normally would into your passive stretch, that's already a gain. You're already gaining more flexibility into it. So what you want to do here is just do 20 of those, 20 pulses, and you can do 3 sets. So you also don't have to do just this one. For example, maybe if I was to do this one 20 times, then next one would be towards my right leg, also 20 times, then towards the left. And I just create a set like this, a bit the same as if you were doing your weight training exercise, right? You take a couple of exercises and you do 3 sets. Sometimes in weight training more, but here, for the sake of ballistic stretching, we're going to take 3 sets. So, or for example, those ones. You can do it with a block. A block is great, by the way, because it also helps you to have a bit more weight. So doing ballistic stretching with weight can be an amazing tool too, and help you to gain more flexibility and more space. So I could do this, or I could do some to the side. This actually works a lot also onto the oblique muscles. So remember, not full speed, you're still controlling your movement. So for example, as you saw, I had 4 exercises here. So pendulum, I would do towards the right leg, towards the left, and to the front. And if that's my circuit, then I would repeat this 3 times, 20 pulses in each. And here is your ballistic stretch already. So it's a great tool. What did I want to mention next? Yeah, so when I was talking about the half centimeter that you would gain, this is basically, it helps because as we were saying in defining ballistic stretching, you use momentum to overcome your passive range of motion. So for example, if I were to put you into this position and just push you down further than what you normally would do into your passive stretch, it would hurt and you couldn't hold this position. The benefit of ballistic stretching is that you just stay in the position for like a fraction of a second. And so the cumulative time will be very beneficial, but you're not staying it at once. You always just go in and out, in and out. So that also helps release and relax your nervous system, because if I were to push you into this position past your passive range of motion, that's where injuries would come, and that's where you would feel really uncomfortable, and your brain would sense that and contract all of your muscles to keep you safe, because that's the only purpose of your brain is to keep you safe. It's survival mode, right? Your reptilian brain. So you need to think about this. So it would prevent you basically from going too far. But as it's just a microsecond, your brain doesn't have this time like to fire up, and it helps you to gain more flexibility over time. So this is where it happens, where your maximum gain with your maximum safety will happen. And for me, really, it is by far the most productive and the fastest, the most productive, and the most efficient way that I've found to not only gain flexibility, but also to sustain it over time. So just give it a go. Let me know how it goes. And if you have any question, I'm here for you, obviously. Talk soon.